Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry. I am Larry, and we are happy to have you here today. We've got a good show lined up for you today. We have so much to talk about. Max, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing absolutely awesome. Hey, it's Friday, right? Best day out
Yep.
of the week. So, with that said, more than glad to be here tonight with Larry as usual and talk about crypto related projects and headline news.
Yeah, we've got some breaking news. I might want to wait until a little more people join, but I'll mention it also another time, just as a little public service announcement. If you see here up on the screen, you can see the screen, right, Max?
Yes.
Okay, so up on the screen, I have a token that I am not invested in. I don't think that Max is in either. It's called Shift Token. And a couple hours ago, there's some chatter going around about this, but a couple hours ago, Shift Token has posted on their Twitter. It says right here, do not purchase any more Shift tokens until further notice. The team is working diligently to resolve the issue. We thank you for your patience and consistent support, Shift Nation. So, from my understanding, I don't have a complete understanding because I haven't had time to research it, but my quick understanding of the situation is I do know that Shift Token is on Dojo Swap, and apparently there was some sort of liquidity issue where all the liquidity was drained, or there also, now don't quote me on this, there could possibly be some missing Shift tokens. I know that Cliff is aware of it from Shibnobi, and they're trying to work on fixing the issue. However, there's a lot of uncertainty, and people don't know what's going on. If anybody's invested in Shift Token or has more information, by all means, please comment in the comment section and we can talk more about it. But right now, I don't know much information. I just wanted to do this as sort of a public service to the crypto world. Do not buy Shift Token right now until they figure out this glitch or this hack or whatever it was. So that's where we are right now, Max. And I know you talked before the show. You have a lot of things that you want to talk about. Let's take a real fast look at the market, just a quick look at crypto bubbles. And what a difference a day makes. So now you see that
Right.
ApeCoin has pulled back to 19.99. It was up to like $26 yesterday, right?
Well, that was the thing that we were actually covering yesterday as part of one of the big segments of, Crypto Talk Now, our show. And that is Ape may very well be one of those ones in which is a daily trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we were all talking about, we have such a diversified portfolio. We definitely want those long term crypto, long term trades. But at the same time, we do need ones for the short terms. I mean, let's face it, a lot of people got bills to pay on a monthly basis. Who doesn't, right? So, I mean,
Right.
if Ape ends up being that one where it literally just goes from, one spectrum to the other and it's consistent, um, that might be one in which people really want to just, do more than just put on the radar. May actually get into it and do, as the saying goes, day trades and so on.
Yeah, I can see people swing trading this. The nice
Right.
thing is I actually sold off a lot of my position, but I'm looking to buy back in. And I did it right through crypto.com, nice and convenient. I didn't have to pay any fees because I just swapped just one crypto for another. In fact, I took some Ethereum and got into it and then sold it off and got back, some more Ethereum. But it's kind of nice that they're on the centralized exchange. It just makes it a little easier for especially people that are newer. But I do have faith in this token long term, and I'm just looking to buy back in. Like I said, I got in at 13. I think I sold off like around 19 something. So I'll
Right.
look to see how far it pulls back and get back in. But I think this might be something that I have a strong feeling might be worth hanging on to. Not financial advice, of course, like we always
Right.
say, but might be worth hanging on to for the long term.
And speaking of the long term, something I want to address just real quick while you have crypto bubbles up, and of course we're talking about the subject of ape, and that is, for instance, yesterday also on the show we mentioned um, V Empire DAO, aka ticker symbol VEMP, and
Right.
on their staking platform, Ape was one of the ones in which you could stake, and the staking on it was a really nice return. Now let me clarify that doesn't mean you go on there, you stake Ape, and you earn a huge amount of interest on receiving more ape. It basically means that you put ape on there, and then you earn VEMP tokens as the reward token for that, which is really cool because currently speaking, I should say currently speaking, as of yesterday, we'll have to double check this later if we choose to. But as of yesterday, it was at roughly like 9-10 cents for VEMP. And, VEMP is a really cool project. So, I mean, as that goes up, I mean, and the crypto market goes up, your rewards tokens go up. So it's just kind of like a win-win situation with, being able to have that for long term, right? Like what Larry's saying with Ape.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I like when projects, you're talking about VEMP. It's nice that they're including other crypto projects, like that you can stake something else like ApeCoin and some of the others, that it's not just their own ecosystem. So it's nice to, I think, bring other communities together, and that way
Right.
you have, more eyes on your project, and you're including more people, which means hopefully more invested in what what your project is.
True.
Yeah.
I'm actually going to interrupt you real quick. Let's take a moment to welcome Kevin Harrison, who joined our show. Um, Kevin, you stay. I guess you just left.
Oh,
Um, well, anyway, he was asking. He says, "What do you think about ATOS, ATOS?" Oh,
okay.
maybe he's back. No, I don't know. It's hard
Maybe
to
he's still
say.
there. Let's
Yeah,
let's take a look at it for a second. I haven't heard of that one. Have you?
I haven't heard of ATOS, so
All right, let me see if I can find it. I'll look it up on Dex Tools. Let me see if I can find it there first, because it sounds like it could possibly be a small cap,
right.
and I have not heard of it. There's just so many. It's impossible to know all that's in the crypto world. That's for sure. Oh, maybe this is it. It's paired up with ETH, ATOS. Let's take a look. Okay, the market cap is really low here. So let me switch over here to like a 15-minute chart. Okay, it looks like it might have launched. Well, it looks like it might have launched today. And the market cap is 128,000. It's got only 121 holders, max. So brand new. It looks like the chart looks pretty healthy, actually, for a one-day chart. So we would have to check this out. We want to check it on Token Sniffer here. Let me just copy the address.
I'm bad. I was on mute. What you want to take a look at the buy and sells by any chance?
Yeah.
Probably a
Yep.
lot of buys.
We can definitely do that. Oh,
Okay,
I
it
just
looks.
have a little trouble scrolling my mouse here. All right.
I would
So,
say that looks kind of healthy. I mean, there is a lot of buys, but a few sells here and there.
yeah. Yeah, it looks like a mixture here. I wonder what this means, drained. I'd never pay attention to this little red icon next to this. Have you ever seen that little red icon before?
Let me see.
Drained. I'm not sure what that means right there. While you're looking at that, well, actually, I changed the screen on you. Apologize, but let me go over to Token Sniffer.
The sound of drained any new token project doesn't sound too good. It makes you think of they're draining the liquidity, right?
Yeah, I didn't understand what that little icon meant. Let me see if I can find this contract here.
Stable grow coin sounds like Evergrow. I'm actually personally invested in Evergrow.
I think this is the wrong. Yeah,
yeah.
this is not the right contract. Hold on one second. Oh, here it is. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that must have just been in my cache or something. Okay, so this is it here. It's Atos. Looks like it's an ERC token. It was deployed 7 hours ago. 45 out of 100. And there you go there if you want to look at some of those red X marks.
Yeah. Owner created wallet contains less than 5% of circulation. I mean, granted, this is all new. We have to give somewhat of a benefit of the doubt. There is adequate liquidity. At least it's locked. Let's see.
It's locked for only
swap.
30 days. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least it's not locked until tomorrow, or at least there's a lock, right? So,
right.
Again, this will be something on which it's just doing a little bit more research on it and so on. It's brand new, and so on. But for it to really have that amount of market cap, right? And also that amount of holders is actually a pretty good start.
Not bad. Yeah, I would want to dig deeper into it. The only thing that stands out is not knowing the team with such a short liquidity lock of 30 days. I would want to, and you would too, want to dig into it, look at their website and their socials. I don't know if Kevin is still with us, but I think, that was a quick little look over, if you will, and maybe we'll look at this closer offline. Unless Kevin was to come back in here. I'm not sure if he's here or not. If he has an additional question, we'll take a closer look. But did you want to jump over? I know you had some other ones to talk about. Did you want to start with which one, Kava or something else?
Yeah, let's actually take a look at Kava real quick.
Okay. All right, I got their website here.
Chair sometimes kind of have to move this other chair over. But anyway, so guys, in regards to Kava, my buddy of mine has been mentioning all the time about Kava. He speaks very highly about this particular project. And I decided to look a little bit more further into it. It's been on my back burner for a while, and believe it or not, it is a pretty cool project, and it has things that remind me kind of like of Clearpool to a sense. But anyway, if you go up a little bit to the top, Larry, for instance, it says infinite ways to build. Kava is a lightning fast layer 1 blockchain featuring a developer optimized co-chain architecture that combines the two most used permissionless ecosystems, Ethereum and Cosmos, into a single scalable network. So, for instance, on my channel, I cover Clearpool all the time. One of the significant things that is on that platform is the permissionless pools. In this case, you have like a permissionless ecosystem. A lot of people, realize that about 90% or more of all crypto projects are built upon the Ethereum blockchain. They become ERC20 tokens, right? Hence the typical meme/community driven Ethereum projects, right? The typical ENU projects and so on. But it's nice to be able to understand and see that they're basically combining these two, Ethereum and Cosmos, to make it like more scalable, more of a faster network. Now, you may be thinking, well, what's the significance in this in regards to me being a retail investor? This sounds like this is more focused on, for developers and so on. Basically, to give you the quick gist of it, Kava is basically a decentralized bank, okay, in which is run by hundreds of organizations across the world. Kava's main goal is to be a decentralized global platform for financial services that enables users to earn more with their digital assets. So let's say, for instance, you have BNB and you have Ethereum, et cetera, right? So it's going to ensure that users earn more with their digital assets anywhere in the world. And in order to accomplish this particular goal, users will hold the native Kava token. And another example, for instance, if you borrow Kava, you earn Kava for being a user, and you also can stake Kava and earn even more. So they have some really cool incentives, especially with the staking. I did see, for instance, Foxman, who's a regular on this channel, was mentioning that on Kraken, I think it's like over 20%. I don't remember the exact amount that you can actually stake on there. But earlier, I was actually looking at my Trust wallet, and I saw that the staking was even higher by using one of the D apps through Trust wallet. So I have to look into a little bit more on that. But nonetheless, it does seem like a pretty cool project in that regards, as far as just earning and receiving more rewards for holding the token, right? So, for instance, Larry, if you can go on over to the CMC listing for Kava, currently speaking, it's at 534. It's down a little bit. Again, the overall crypto market is about under, I think, 1.75 trillion. So, I mean, we're still bleeding big time in the overall crypto market. But if you take a look at this, for instance, if you click on holders, I could have sworn I saw that. Yeah, no, man, they had that earlier. Anyway, what I was going to state also is if you just go back, it's okay.
Let's see if I can refresh it by chance. It's not populating in there right now.
That's odd. Maybe a CNC issue, but nonetheless, guys. I mean, um, for instance, if you go up to the top right, you will see on the overall outlook of it. Just go up a little bit more.
That's as far as it goes up.
Oh, I'm sorry. There it is. So if you click on that 24-hour chart where it says low to high,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
where
Here,
it
yep.
says 560,
You
yeah.
want to see?
I'll see the on the 1 year. That's why I just want to show guys real quick.
Yeah, it was as high as 919 at some
Yeah.
point.
So for instance, I mean, um, the low was 220, but the point is, it has had a good amount of. Uh, it kind of has been holding its own. If you look at this particular graph, not to be a focus on graphs because we're not graph experts or anything like that. And graphs can, let's face it, get kind of boring. But there's no like super huge nose dives or anything like that. It's a healthy looking, coin/token project in which, you know, I like the idea that it's basically like a decentralized bank in which kind of like a savings, if you will, in which you could earn significant, dividends on what you hold and so on. Like they mentioned, your digital assets. On the other hand, I also want to mention and point this out again. There's quite a few different exchanges that this is on. Obviously, Binance, KuCoin, Kraken, like for Foxman, and so on. Heck, even Crypto.com. But I remember Foxman mentioning that um, for him, he was most impressed with the interest rate on Kraken. But check this out. For instance, the volume, even though it's down, you're looking at 111 million. If you go up a little bit, Larry,
Yeah.
on that volume.
Mm-hmm.
The market cap is close to $1 billion. Heck, this is a top 100 token, right? In all of crypto. So pretty impressive stuff going on here. If you're wanting to look into Kava, and again, it's not just about trying to only purchase Kava and holding that token, and of course, waiting to see this mature or crazy price action with the native token. The whole idea of being able to go on their platform and move your digital assets into their space and get reward for it is really really cool in that regard.
Yeah, it's good to be able to earn something, from staking and those sort of things. This sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but in a nutshell, this is just something where, and I don't want to downplay it, but it's basically a super fast blockchain as well, right? It's faster than Ethereum by itself.
Well,
Is that
it's
what I'm understanding?
basically like combining the two, the concept of Ethereum and then bringing Cosmos into the whole mix.
Bringing
And that's what,
into, yep.
yeah, that's what makes it significant in that regard. And it becomes appealing for devs that are starting these new projects. So, for instance, on the site, I mean, I don't want to put a lot of focus on this particular one and do like a full length, 1 hour devoted to this. But from the gist that I got from it, for instance, is you know, for instance, like right here, it says 100K Kava developer incentives. It's just from a developer point of view, this seems like a platform that they want to hop on. And on top of that, they have deployed a bunch of smart contracts. If you look at their site, for instance, like I'm looking at right now, um, there's just so much to it. I mean, for instance, the Kava network roadmap, mentions, for instance, it says it's built on a foundation established by the Kava platform, incorporating two interoperable chains, obviously Ethereum and Cosmos, to connect the most used decentralized ecosystems and empower developers to build a thriving, scalable network of D apps. And I think that's the key, right? So you can have something up like, heck, Crypto.com's app or the DeFi app, right? And if you ever use that, you will notice there's multiple ones. There's MM Finance, there's Crystal Finance, the VVS, and so on. This becomes appealing for a dev who is like on the fence of what one to particularly get into. They want the ease of access. They want something in which, let's face it, if they hop just on Ethereum, that's really, really slow. But you're taking the concept of Ethereum, right? That's super easy. I mean, hence why we see all these ERC20 tokens, right? Because it's just the ease of access as far as developing on that, because you got a template, right? Probably the most popular template from their blockchain out there. That's why so many projects do it. But at the same time, it's slow, the gas fees, et cetera, et cetera. So you take that concept and then you combine it with Cosmos, which is way faster, and
Right.
what they got going on does seem very appealing. And at the end of the day, as a retail investor, it's not just necessarily getting involved in, big, mean, community-driven projects because they're super cheap. You want to see ones in which are going to, of course, reward you with big, a big amount of staking, right, on the APR. So this impressed me because it did kind of remind me, to a sense, of like what Clearpool has going on. But again, this is in the top 100. And already they're on, many centralized exchanges, some decentralized exchanges. And it was just something I thought I would go ahead and cover. It did seem like it stood out to me. I didn't just do it because of, my friend, but I'm actually impressed with it. And then on top of that, I'll leave you guys with this. As you guys may have known, as of, was it yesterday, Charlie Shrim from Crypto Investor Network posted this on over there, stating on the calendar, right? They have a crypto news calendar. And the big thing for Kava is that their mainnet launch for, let's see here, it says on May 3rd, Tuesday, May 3rd at 8 a.m., Kava's network mainnet launch, this is significant, is upgrading to 1.0, and it features its novel Ethereum and Cosmos code chains, like we talked about, which will create effortless interoperability between the chains. But that upgrade to the 1.0 mainnet launch. Now, does that mean that, mainnet launch is going to cause it to go to the moon? Well, of course not. Same thing with Clearpool, right? A lot of people have the attitude, Clearpool's mainnet launch on March 23rd, that was going to go to the moon. You got to keep in mind, there is a period of time in which there's going to be adoption after that. Even with Clearpool, for instance, took 2 weeks before the original CMC listing and so on, for that to go to all-time highs. I'm not saying it's going to be 2 weeks with Kava after this 1.0, but again, you can't go in with the attitude that just because there's some big event or some big mainnet launch, that it's just boom, instant, to the moon, all-time highs. Is the point.
Right. What does this remind you of right here? It looks like Star Wars, doesn't it? The graphics, the Lone War.
The launch. Yeah,
That
I just
jumps
think
off
it's
the
an
page.
impressive. Yeah, I think it's an impressive project. Obviously, we're always talking about utility, right, Larry? So, I mean, my attitude is, this has more than just utility for, for retail investors to recognize, but, for devs, I mean, you're bringing in the two, the incentives, the staking, et cetera, et cetera. It just, I'm honestly looking to personally get into this before the mainnet. I'm going to see if this bleeds a little bit more with the overall crypto market. Why not? That way I could get a little bit more, right? For my money could go further. Again, not
Yeah,
investing advice, but yeah.
My thoughts are, it's nice to have some of your money, definitely most of your money, in some safer ones. Now, no cryptos are completely safe, but it gives me peace of mind that this has almost $1 billion market cap. I have heard of it before. So it's nice to be diversified in some top 100 cryptos for sure. And you can just imagine during the bull run that something like this at almost $1 billion, it's not out of the question as the market grows and the overall market cap for crypto grows, that something like this could go to 2 or 3 billion. So, you might have a chance at 2 or 3x. The one thing that I'm thinking of too is just with, I remember the buy the rumor, sell the news. One of the most recent famous ones, not so much with Saitama, but more with along the lines of Ada Cardano, was, I think it was even, I remember the day, maybe September 12th, they were coming out with their smart contracts and there was so much hype. And I think I had loaded up on Cardano, and I think right before the contracts came out, the smart contracts, it was around $3 or something like that. So I was fortunate enough to sell off a lot before that because I felt it was the buy the rumor, sell the news. And just thinking about it on the surface, what you mentioned coming up for Kava, it could be something the same thing, like, Cardano, Kava, strong projects, but also a word of caution with the mainnet coming out. It could be something where people are going to sell off because that's going to be, the news. The news is the mainnet's here. So that what typically happens that I've seen is, the bigger players, the whales or whatever, will possibly sell off their position and then look to buy back in. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I would just, wanted to toss that out to you to see what you thought of that possibly as being something that could happen.
Right. I mean, those things could definitely, happen. That is true. Um, but at the same time, it could go the other way because people just don't know. I mean, with a 1.0 mainnet upgrade, then you're having like, as far as the developer point of view, you're having more other smart contracts onboarded. You're having more development teams creating other decentralized apps, in which that creates more volume over their entire ecosystem that they umbrella, if you will. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it could work both ways, especially with some of these bigger projects. With more of the small cap tokens and so on, I would say that's more of the case. But again, it just depends. At the end of the day, let's face it, it's all about supply and demand. So, that's what drives everything, that and creating scarcity.
So they have a big Twitter following, over 164,000. So that's good. And there it is right there. Their main thing. Kava is a lightning fast layer 1 blockchain that combines, I'm going to be put on the spot for pronunciation, interpretability. I haven't heard that one.
No, that's all right. Interoperability. There you go.
Okay, interoperability. That's a mouthful. Of Cosmos with the developer support of Ethereum. So, speed is a big thing. And, like I said, it's nice to look at projects that are in the top 100. So it gives you something where you can make some money with the small caps and hopefully move into some of these larger cap tokens. I mean, my big one in terms of a larger cap one is Crow. In fact, I bought some more Crow today. Every time Crow is down, I'm looking to add a little bit more. But yeah, this is definitely one that I've heard about, and I just never took the time to look into it.
Right. Kevin, I did see that I don't know if this is you being back, and you said, Atos again. I don't know if you left right when you were mentioning it. We did cover it not that long ago. I don't know if you left while we were covering it for you, and then you just came back, but we went ahead.
You could go back, Kevin, if you want, and rewind a little bit. We did talk about it. It might have been soon after you dropped off the stream, but we did bring it up on Dex Tools and talk a little bit about it. I think it had $128,000 market cap. Let me see right here. Is this it? No, 92,000. So, we're going to take some time to look offline and see if we can look at their socials and their website and stuff like that. If you have any of that information and you want to save us some time, you can drop their website and their Twitter account link in the comment section. That would save us some time. We would take a look at it now. We looked at it on Token Sniffer too. So, yeah, we don't know much about it. The chart looks decent. I don't have much of an opinion on it, only because I need more time. So, looks like we're looking at, is this the one you want to look at next?
Yeah, that's fine. Then we can do XCAD last. So, for instance, hold on.
Or do you want to look at?
I actually wanted to cover Solace a little bit later, hoping that maybe when we get some more people watching.
Oh yeah, I skipped it. You want to look at XCAD?
Yeah.
Okay.
And not only that, for you and I, to be honest. Yeah. So
forget everybody out there in the audience. This is our show. We want to talk to each other.
Now, it's beneficial to people like us, and then it's of course beneficial to the average retail investor as well. So, for instance, originally when I was covering, Metopolis, for instance, I got a pretty decent following of people who follow me for Metopolis and so on. And then at the same time, it was just like, XCAD, because that's over from the, excuse me, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
So, these are people, or sorry, the XCAD army are also people who are connected with what? Zilliqa's blockchain. So, for instance, Zilliqa does Metopolis. Zilliqa's blockchain also the XCAD networks on. Where significant, and I actually covered this in my video earlier today, is for instance, XCAD may be integrated into Metopolis, and that'll be huge for Metopolis because, for one, it's just another big catalyst. But for instance, like you see right here, it says XCAD Network is a global platform harnessing the power and value of content creator audiences via creator tokenization. So I'm always talking about, give me a second.
Sure.
Sorry about in the background.
If you need to step away for a second, I can keep talking. It's up to you.
No, that's okay. I just realized with all the coughing and so on. Sorry about that. So for instance, you see it says it allows viewers to earn rewards and govern creators' decisions via a plugin, which works directly on YouTube. So, we always hear the term play to earn thrown around, especially when it comes to, metaverse plays, or even before the metaverse became a big thing, especially with Axie Infinity. It's a big play to earn platform, probably one of the biggest ones out there in crypto. A lot of focus on play to earn. What about watch to earn, right? So the cool thing is this: people who are watching us as we speak, and Larry, this is significant for us and also them, right?
Okay.
So for us, it's like, as a content creator, we can actually tokenize what we got going on with Crypto Talk Now, right?
Oh, cool.
That's super cool, right? We can create our own token.
So we can actually earn something significant, unlike YouTube, is what you're saying.
It's
super
just
chats are cool.
It's another catalyst, right? Because instead of just having your monetized channel and then your super chats, now you're also we're tokenizing this, right? We're creating this as an MAT, like I always mention.
Is this ready to go right now, or is it still under development?
Sorry?
The tokenizing of content creators, is it under development, or is it ready to be utilized? Like, can we use it now?
From what I've seen, I think this is, something which is going now. But I mean, yes, it's still currently being developed and implemented, of course, into the big metaverse plays. But the point is, for us to be able to tokenize like Crypto Talk Now, and then the people like who are watching as we speak, right? Like there's Kevin, there might be a few other people who are watching. I mean, how would you guys like the idea of watch to earn? You guys already watching us to begin with.
Yeah,
how would
you
like
to get paid for it, right?
Right. So I mean, those two things, there's the utility, right? So for instance, the reason why I covered it with Metopolis is because there's a rumor that, of course, as soon as it becomes official, of them being integrated into Metopolis, which would be huge because, again, that's another catalyst for that. Mm-hmm. Because in Metopolis, there's going to be multiple, let's face it, there's going to be other streamers and so on. They may be doing it on Twitch, YouTube, et cetera, and for them to be able to, have their avatar doing certain tasks or quests, you name it, right? But those channels can now be tokenized through XCAD, who's already connected with the Zilliqa blockchain. It's just a win-win for everybody.
That's wild. That's like a really neat idea. I never had thought about that before, but you've definitely got my interest with this one for sure.
And here's the thing, XCAD. Oh my goodness. So before we get more deeper into the roadmap and everything of XCAD, if you guys want about price action, check this out. Let's check out the CMC listing. And as you know, I mean, like everything is down in crypto for the most part. I'm not going to say everything, but the majority. As you can see here, the contract is on the Zilliqa blockchain. As far as XCAD, it's down about 13%, 3.91. But here's the cool thing. As the saying goes, when in doubt, zoom out. So let's go to this chart. Larry, click on all. So for me, like I got heavily into investing quite a bit into crypto last summer. Again, not financial advice or anything. This is the personal play that I was on, not necessarily XCAD. But if you look at that little amount of red last summer, Larry, if you go to the very bottom of that, very, very bottom. So if you think about this is like right around the time of projects like Saitama and so on. I know these are totally different, but the point is this: for those people who recognize the XCAD's, the significance of this whole watch to earn concept, because you got to keep in mind, this is still developmental stages at that point and bought into it. they didn't see just, all-time highs once. Now, if you go over just a little bit, Larry, to where it starts to get green in September, look at those gains that they got. And then you had retracement, consolidation, as the saying goes, trading sideways, right?
Right.
It kind of leveled out, and then boom, things like Shiba Inu, right, back in October,
Yeah.
maybe Crow, heck, even the Vegas event for Saitama, you're seeing all-time highs again, huge all-time highs, okay? And that's why, in my opinion, you got this really good following with the XCAT army, and they are an army, by the way. I realize Zilliqa is kind of oversees all this, right? Because it's part of their ecosystem, and it's one of their smart contracts, I guess you could state. But the point is, people who are into gaming, right? There is an audience for that, and that is, of course, the people who just simply want to go watch YouTube videos or watch us or whatever. I think this is a thing, and like I've always said, right? I try to cover, and also Larry, we try to cover things that fly under the radar. This has a pretty decent following, but for the mainstream, let's face it, it kind of does fly under the radar. Right. So we're glad to cover this, bring this to you guys, and of course, me and Larry are going to talk a little bit more about this, like our approach about maybe how we implement maybe XCAT into our daily streams or videos or et cetera, because it's super cool.
It is super cool. Yeah. One of the things I look at when I look at a chart, because remember, I'm not big into technical analysis or anything like that, but if it's a solid project, I like to look at, right around where the all-time high was, because you can see down in here it was around, 50 cents. And I say to myself, if this is a solid project, solid projects are going to come back and approach all-time highs. So, there's a lot of room to get back to where it was. I mean, right now it's around $3.91. And then, it's been its high. Let me just change this right here. The 1 year high was, $9.06. So it's got room to grow if it was to return to where it was for its former glory at an all-time high. If it gets back up to, $7, $8, $9, you would think it would if it's a solid project. Because right now we're in a very weird market. The market doesn't seem to know what it wants to do. It seems like we're always about to come out of like a bear market. We're just always testing, like, are we going to go on a bull run or not? And it seems like back and forth almost on the daily. But, you look at the market cap and it's only 95 million, and there's a really healthy volume. I mean, 10 million a day right now. I'm just looking at this as far as Zilliqa, and I need to really start to explore Zilliqa's blockchain to see what else is on there. And maybe
there's
I'm understanding, understanding you've already started to cover that, and you might, on your channel become more of an expert on projects that are on this blockchain, on the Zilliqa blockchain.
I have to admit, I'm very impressed with Zilliqa. Some of the smart contracts. I mean, it's just, there's so many things. It's like, it kind of reminds you of Cardano, but more of like with the metaverses, if you will. Headsets, the watch to earns, and things that are kind of like, you and me, right? Like, gamer slash, well, you might not necessarily be a gamer, but like more of like, people who may just be watching on our channel as we speak, watching the stream, those type of people. Mr. Beast, I mean, come on, he's huge.
There's some big names right here. There's Mr. Beast, right? We all know who he is.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And then look at this, the ease of access. If you go up to, right here, add the plugin as a Chrome extension. I mean, they're going to give you a little bit more details. But again, we're talking about like the whole thing of like, is it going to be easy to basically implement this? And then it basically is. I mean, I'm not completely into it yet. I got to, look into it a little bit further as far as like what we're going to do as far as implement into our stream and so on. But
I think we need to do that. Yeah. We should try to figure it out offline at some point, and then, just be like a test for us. Let's test it out with ourselves and our audience and see how it works, because this really got my attention. Just looking, there's KSI too. I've heard of him. I really don't know any of these other YouTubers, but I definitely know Mr. Beast.
Right. That's what stood out to me is Mr. Beast. I never heard of the other guys, but still, I mean, they're big, obviously.
Right. They got a lot of followers.
just real quick, actually, so for those who are watching, from a retail point of view, you may be wondering, well, what about the risk, right? I don't want to get involved in something that is going to be sketchy, or like, what's the low to medium risk? For me personally, again, not financial advice. This is low risk, and here's the reason for it. If you can go back to that CMC listing, Larry, and then actually go over to the audit for Fairy Proof. And I'm actually familiar with Fairy Proof, right under that Zilliqa contract on the
Oh,
left.
under yeah. Let me see. Here it is.
And the cool thing about this is, look at this, guys. 100% has been resolved. Zero total findings. And look at the chart. I mean, nothing at critical, nothing at high, medium, low. It's just, you like to see this, right? You wish every crypto project, you can see this. And this is recent. It's not like this report was taken like 2 years ago, right? That's still pretty recent. That's only like what, a couple months ago?
Yeah, February.
Yeah, a little over 2 months ago. So that's still pretty recent. You like to see this. This shows low risk. I'm not going to even say medium risk, right? More like low risk. And at the end of the day, this is our harder money and so on. We don't just throw it anywhere. So yeah, you like seeing stuff like this. So I can't say enough good things about XCAD. It's one of those ones, like I mentioned, the other day with you, Larry, where I have a certain amount of ones that are on my watch list as far as crypto projects, and then I have to narrow it down, and then even narrow it down even further as far as the ones I actually really like commit to and get into as far as investing in and so on. XCAD is definitely right there for me.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you've definitely got my attention. I think we need to try it out on this channel. And you and I try to tokenize our audience, or our channel, I should say. And let's see if our audience can actually earn from just sitting back and watching us. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's go over real quick to, whoops, this is the wrong one. Let's go over to XCAD's Twitter account. I guess I got to follow them too. So they've got, well, they also have a big following, 146,000 followers. It's a platform harnessing the value of content creator audiences via creator tokenization. Viewers earn rewards used for fan governance. So, the big thing that stands out, I look at little things. I try to like simplify everything and just in my mind, and just kind of have a common sense approach to it, to investing in general. And I say, if Mr. Beast is kind of involved with this, I don't know how much he is anymore, but if his name is up on the website, that's a very, very strong sign for me. That makes me want to dig into this more, because when you think of YouTube, you think of someone like Mr. Beast.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't follow that sort of thing, like as far as like who are the big influencers, he is a big name just in general. Like he's like a household YouTube name. Yep. So if he's behind it, I mean, that of course speaks volumes behind it, because at the same time he's in it to earn a certain amount of revenue and so on. This creates an extra catalyst for what? His particular channel. So instead of him just being monetized and getting super chats from YouTube, he is tokenizing his channel. Why wouldn't he want to do that? And then not only that, it's not just about him. It's about, what does he have, like almost 2 million, or actually not 2 million, more than that. I think 8 million, 16 million subs. So it's like that gives his audience opportunity, because they're doing, what oh God, he had
almost
way
67
more.
million. Yeah.
Geez, forget what I just said on that. So, but the cool thing is now his audience, who's already been watching him anyway, right?
Right.
They're going to be able to earn something for what they're already doing anyway. And why not,
Yeah, I can't. Oh, look at that. Now he's actually got 94.5 million. I just clicked on the little link, so that wasn't even accurate. So for those of you that are not familiar with Mr. Beast, I can't imagine that no one out there has at least heard of him. Yeah. You can see here that he's got a huge following. He's got almost 100 million subscribers, and he actually has I think a couple other channels too, right? He's got Beast Philanthropy. I haven't heard of that one. 8 million there. I've heard of Mr. Beast Gaming. He's got 27 million. Beast Reacts. I've seen a little bit of that. That's almost 17 million. Now he's got Mr. Beast Shorts, 13 million, and then Mr. Beast number 2. So he's just got subscribers all over the place. So,
But if you look right there, I mean, it says sub to all channels for a cookie. So even right there, he recognizes he wants his users to get rewarded with something.
right.
Hence, XCAD even rewarded more. I didn't even cut you off. Sorry about that.
No, you're totally fine. No, I'm glad you're interjecting this. I'm just thinking that one of the things I'm gonna do as far as research with XCAD is see if he's still actively implementing XCAD on his channel, because if he is, and this ever becomes a little more mainstream, like if he uses it more, like my guess is maybe he's not, maybe he kind of like endorsed it and was on board with it and was testing it, but I don't know how much it's being utilized right now with his subscribers. But if he ever did, I mean, and we just kind of hitched on to that, anybody that's invested in it, I mean, somebody that has almost 100 million subs or more, if someone uses that type of product, if you will, that's going to really, bring it out to the mainstream, and it's going to make, the small YouTubers like you and I use it, and a bunch of other people too.
No, you're absolutely right.
So cool. Good stuff, Max.
Thanks. I thought it was cool for us, and of course, the audience of people who's watching as we speak. So
cool. That's what it's all about in this channel. For anyone that's just joining us, I know we only have a couple people here, but welcome. What we try to do here on Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry here is what we try is to bring you different projects that we're possibly even thinking of getting into. Like, I'm not in any of these projects, but we try to talk about them. Max sometimes is in things, sometimes I'm in it, but we try to share ideas back and forth. Max, this is our 5th episode together. He's been bringing a lot of different things. It's been an eye-opener for me. And these things are the type of things I want to spend time offline and educating myself. And I suggest that you guys do the same thing. Try to expose yourself to different crypto projects and try to find something that you get passionate about and that you want to learn about, because once you learn more about a project, you'll probably become a smarter investor with it. So I've got, am I pronouncing it right? Solus up on the screen?
To be honest, I don't know if it's called Solace or Solus. I call it Solace, but
Solace,
I'm not saying you're wrong.
No, that's fine. Solace sounds better.
So you like me to
it looks like another metaverse play.
Yeah, and with this one, I wanted to wait until the end to bring this forward. I was hoping that maybe have a few more people here to see this.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but why don't we do this since we don't have a lot here right now? Why don't I talk about like Phantom or something?
Yeah, that'd be great. If we could pick up a few more people, just I thought that was really significant because some people were messaging me on my channel and so on, stating they wanted to get into something that was metaverse related, but where the prices were like literally listed like a marketplace, if you will. And we'll get into that in a bit. Yeah.
So we'll come back to that later. We'll talk now. Guys, I did a AMA today. Unfortunately, Max had a schedule conflict. He couldn't be there, although he wanted to be. I did an AMA today for Phantom Project, and you guys can go back and watch that. It's right here. It was the last live stream that we did. We had, it was pretty cool, Max. As far as live streams go, I had 52 people in at the same time watching at the height of it. So that was kind of neat.
That's amazing. Hey, hats off to you, buddy.
Yeah, this was technically, this was my first AMA that I've ever done live. So this was kind of cool. But, these are nice guys. This is Riz right here, and this is Matthew. And for those, these are both developers, the COO, and Matthew is the COO. For those of you that are not familiar with Phantom Project, and just full disclosure, I am sponsored by them. I was sponsored to do that AMA and a couple other videos. I am invested with my own money in the pre-sale, and the pre-sale has ended, but the wide launch is tomorrow. For those of you that want to find out more and possibly consider getting in, not financial advice, I'm not telling you to do this, but if you wanted to, it's tomorrow between 1 and 3 Eastern Standard Time. If you come over to Phantom Project at Phantom Project right here on Twitter, this is the official Twitter page. They have the contract that they just posted 12 hours ago. And you can take a look at the contract. As I mentioned, between 1 and 3, it's launching on Uniswap. It's going to have a market cap of around 10 million. They've raised over 1,000 ETH in the pre-sale. And what they're trying to do, Max, I don't know how familiar you are, but just so you know, they're trying to do a social media platform. So just like we talked about getting paid to watch things, they're trying to pay people to interact on social media. So they want to kind of have something similar to maybe a mixture of Twitter and Facebook, the same type of attributes, but they want it geared to people that are investing in crypto or considering investing in crypto. So it's for the crypto community, but they're going to be paying people to interact. So they've hired a big company, actually. They've hired a company to do their development. Let me see if I can find a link to it. There's another audit. They're going through a Certec audit right now, but they also got a SafeUSwap. They did their audit, and they're going to be doing a partnership with that project as well. So there's their audit. So there's the video that I did. I'm looking to see. I don't know if I can find. Oh, here it is. DevPro. So they made a partnership with DevPro. They're paying them around $80,000 a month to develop. These guys are developers. So they're going to develop the social media platform for Phantom. So it's not just being done in-house. Their in-house guy, their coder, is taking care of their contract and things of that nature. But the social media platform is going to take 6 to 8 months to build. And in the meantime, they're having a lot of different utilities. They're having smart NFTs with utilities. You'll be able to do some staking and things of that nature while we're waiting for this social media platform to be built. So it's pretty interesting. So I just wanted to kind of pass that along to everybody. If you want to know more about Phantom, I did put together this AMA, and on my AMA, there's also links to other people that did AMAs, which is including Wealthyverse Studios. I have that link right here in the description. And also Holistic Crypto did a nice one too. So if you guys want to learn more about the project, you can.
I'm gonna have to look more into Phantom myself. For one, just seeing these guys' faces and so on, and how presentable they seem to be. I'll probably have to rewatch your AMA.
Yeah, they're really nice guys. There was some issues in the beginning with them not doxing right away, and the main reason why, when I talked to them more, I got to know them. They're very private people. They did KYC in the beginning, and their plan was to eventually come out and dox, but the community, because there was such a large ask for the pre-sale, and they raised over 1,000 ETH, the community really responded and said, hey, we want to see you guys. We want the names. So they doxed with their full names, and also came on camera. And we're hoping to have them back on the channel at some point. They want to come back once they release their NFT. So it might not be for a while, but they seem like genuine good guys. So you definitely check out the AMA and just see what you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely will. I think out of nowhere, it's starting to kind of get dark over here. So I need to, turn on an extra light so I'm not appearing so dim. Give me just a moment. I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. So guys, anyone that has just joined us, welcome. We're talking about a bunch of different projects here. I'll do a little public service announcement for those of you that are invested in Shift Token. I am not invested in Shift Token. However, there is a notice on their Twitter page, and it says right here, do not purchase any more Shift tokens until further notice. The team is working diligently to resolve the issue. We thank you for your patience and consistent support, Shift Nation. Now, I haven't had an opportunity to see exactly what has transpired, but my understanding is that Shift Token is on Dojo Swap, and they've had some sort of an attack. It could be, I don't know, maybe a hack or something weird has happened, a glitch in the system. But on Dojo Swap, apparently all the liquidity was drained for Shift Token. Both the developer of Shift is aware, and also Cliff and the team over at Shibnobi is aware. And I'm sure with the good things I'm hearing, well, I'm familiar with Shibnobi, but the good things I'm hearing from Shift as well, or about Shift Token, that there are good people involved. And I'm sure whoever has lost their tokens, they're going to come up with a resolution. But maybe no one right now is invested in this. But for those of you that know people that are, I would just spread the word about this issue. And as we get more information, we'll bring it to you, possibly maybe even on tomorrow's live stream. As a side note, Tomorrow's live stream is going to start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I might jump on sometime between 1 and 3 after Phantom launches. I might come on for a little while and just talk about Phantom to see how the chart is doing. But I'm not really sure yet because I want to keep a close eye on it. But Max and I are scheduled to be on tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to do our regular show. So that's it, Max. You're back with us. Where do you want to go from here?
All right. Well, let's see here. We might as well start going ahead with the presentation of Solace.
Okay.
And we'll just go from there. Hey, McGuire. Well, he says, "What's up?"
Oh,
Thanks
hey.
so much.
Shout
so
out
much
to
for-
McGuire.
yeah.
How are you, sir? Glad that you could join us. Well, I'm assuming you're a sir, but it could be a lady, but it's probably a guy. Welcome to the show. If you want us to talk about any particular crypto, please drop that in the comments section, and Max and I will stop what we're doing at some point and talk about whatever you want to talk about. But for now, you got my attention. So Solace, another metaverse play. I like just the initial graphics that I'm seeing. Take it away, Max. Tell us more about it.
All right. So again, welcome everybody who's joined the live stream at the moment. This is a different metaverse platform in which you may or may have not heard about. This is Solace. This is built on the Solana blockchain. And with that said, what stands out, for instance, is, of course, like what you see here, the first cross-platform VR metaverse on the Solana blockchain. In reality, we haven't heard of many different metaverse platforms on that particular blockchain. But it's a quality-driven metaverse platform. Pretty nice-looking graphics for the most part, right? I would say that.
Nice, yeah.
But, one of the things that I covered, I've done a video about this a while back. So, for instance, on this actual site, if you scroll down, we'll go back to where it says the public land sale. I'll cover that at the very end. But there, yeah, if you go down, whoa, sorry. Just go up a little bit up. Sorry about that.
Oh, my mouse is kind of stuck. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what's going on. Okay, in here where it says investors?
Yeah, I mean, you have, quite a few big investors that have been backing this. Nothing to like really bat an eye at, really. I mean, you have Three Arrows Capital, D Finance Capital, and so on. Here's some, of course, the exchanges that's on. If you go down a little bit further, again, we'll get to the part about the lands. This NFT preview is kind of cool because it kind of shows you, how it's modeled, if you will. They've been getting a decent amount of press coverage.
So these are the NFTs that they have. Are they part of? Is there also a game for this, or is it just strictly like a metaverse?
It's a metaverse. There also is going to be, from what I understood, an actual game. That's actually what a building would look like if you decided to get that. But if you scroll down just a little bit more, there's been quite a bit of, I should say quite a bit, but a decent amount of press on it. So obviously Yahoo Finance, I use that daily. CoinDesk is very familiar and so on.
Right.
But a decent amount of press. If you go to the very top, I want to actually take a look at where it mentions the marketplace.
Okay.
All right. And so, for instance, people on my channel, they're saying, I want to get involved in a particular metaverse in which sorry, what was that on the chat?
Oh, okay. Let's see what he says here. McGuire says, my second time here. Thank you. I was here for the Phantom AMA. Okay, thank you, McGuire. Welcome. And we're glad that you've identified yourself as a guy, so I don't call you a lady anymore. I didn't know if you were a man or a woman with the name McGuire, because that could be a last name. But so anyway, McGuire, I guess almost like Mark McGuire, but spelled a little bit differently. So I'll remember it that way. So welcome, and thank you for watching the AMA that we had today with Phantom. So as you were saying, Max, after I interrupted,
no problem. No, it's okay. So nonetheless, some of the people on my channel were, like DMing me and so on, saying they want to get involved in a metaverse in which, for instance, is something other than Ethereum based with the blockchain. And I thought, well, what better than Solana? And then on top of that, they're like, I want something which I know what I'm getting into and how much it's going to cost. And I thought, well, that's not really like listed anywhere at the moment. A lot of the devs, that was something in the future. But the cool thing about their particular marketplace is it literally listed everything for you. So, for instance, like this building right here, like if you just click on that, for instance, the top left one, yeah. So, for instance, yeah, it gives you a description. It says it's going to cost 4,300 SLC. It says description: a building from the Genesis collection that can be used in the Solace metaverse. Again, I mean, this is a huge building, but I mean, if that was the route you wanted to go to, like, you know what, man, I got to have a great big building for, I don't know, let's say you're going to do like the educational standpoint, because I mean, let's face it, like platforms like, for instance, what is it, Luna One, for instance, they have the little Treyarch, if you will, not Treyarch Studios, but the Treyarch, and what you have at the top, the educational background. On the right side, you have the business background, and on the far left, you have the gaming point of view. So, depending on the scope of what you're trying to accomplish here, for all we know, a person wants this particular building because it needs to be that size to create that immersion for a classroom environment. That's just an example I'm throwing out there. But the cool thing about their marketplace is they literally list one by one by one on, like, for instance, one by one is the land, the 3x3 lands. There's other types of buildings, and they show you, right? Kind of like, like a great big list, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Different ones and so on. And it's cool how they have that listed out. And that's what some of the guys were messaging me about. They wanted to see something like this because, let's face it, on other metaverse platforms, Larry, you don't really get to see this. You know what I mean?
I noticed that they have a very modern look and feel to their buildings. And then also, interestingly enough, their guys, well, I mean, their guys are very detailed. They're almost similar to Wagmi. Wagmi's got, they've got soldiers versus alien type characters. And, I've got their NFT there, one of their NFTs. But yeah, they have, so these are like just the little sections of land, I guess, that you can buy. It looks like, oh, okay, yeah, the plots of land. So they're different prices. I'm just looking to see about the price difference. So I guess by the location of where they are on the map, so to speak, the better location, they're going to cost more.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing because, like, for instance, in Metropolis, and so on, some of the guys on my channel, especially like in the comments and the videos, were saying, how is any metaverse project going to mention in either an AMA or anything in which, how can I get prime real estate? Because, like, in the real world, the saying goes location, location, location. Like, how is that going to be deciphered in the metaverse? And the cool thing about this particular one is you kind of have an idea. It's not telling you that this is prime real estate, but you kind of get the gist of it, especially when you see like some of the prices are significantly more, right, than the next one and so on. But nonetheless, for those who I messaged back and so on, if you happen to be tuned in tonight, here you go. This is Solace, and this is how they go about doing this. Another thing I was going to mention before we get into everything about, well, I guess we are already into everything about what you see listed here for the prices. If you go up to the top, Larry, as far as the staking, right? So there's going to be, actually, just hit the back button, if you don't mind. All right, and then go to staking. Now, this part's cool. I actually covered this in one of my videos, but if you haven't seen my video and so on, which a lot of you guys probably haven't, I don't expect you to see everything. If you're new to all this, for instance, it mentions Solace Genesis pools, be an early adopter and participate in the Genesis staking pools to earn unique and limited time rewards by staking your SLC and SLC to USDC. So again, kind of like some of the other metaverse plays where they pair the two, Shiba Inu does it with what? They do it with Leash,
Bone and Leash. Yeah.
right, and so on. Same kind of concept. In this case, you're doing SLC paired with USDC, and then it mentions, says Genesis staking has now been concluded. But for those who participate in this, for instance, this is pretty cool because look at the incentives on some of this stuff. So, kind of like your typical video game where they have like loot boxes and so on, or if you play, for instance. Let's say you play, was it that game Overwatch? And in Overwatch, what they call your skin, right? Your outfit. You can either pick up an epic outfit, and then of course the highest tier is legendary. In this case, in Solace, the highest tier of your NFT reward would be mythic, and then as you get more of a rare NFT, right, you get rewarded more with that. So, for instance, the mythic one, it says stake SLC, and you basically pair that with USDC, and the Genesis rewards. You're gonna get 50% on that. Of course, this one's closed, but the point is this: that for those who participated in this early, now you're gonna really see this come to full fruition with what? With the land sales and putting this into the metaverse and so on. So this already started. Actually, if you go back, Larry, just a little bit. Go to the previous page. So go to where it says land public sale. It says right there Tuesday the 26th at 9 a.m. But I think also they might have continued it if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that just took us to.
It's back to the marketplace. Okay.
No, that's fine. But the point is, it's like, it just what I like about it is in closing, in regards to Solace is. They list everything, all the prices. Some of these other metaverses don't really do that. And that was the thing that some of these guys were messaging me about. They want to see a metaverse in which that did this particular thing. Because at the end of the day, I mean, even I myself, I'm not looking to just get into one metaverse platform and then that's the end all be all and whatnot. You want to recognize some of these other metaverses. So, for instance, if you're wondering about price action in regards to this, the reason why I mention this again is because on my channel, when I originally covered Solace, I think it was going up for like a little over $4 or something like that. The price is significantly tanked. Now you may be wondering, why in the world would I try to share something that's significantly tanked? Hear me out. So let's take a look at this. So currently speaking, look at that. Way down compared to when I first covered on my channel, down to 38 cents. And the reason for it was there was a time period in which the developers weren't, I guess you could say, the complaint was they weren't being transparent enough and they weren't communicating with the community in a timely manner that everybody agreed on. But they have sorted this out. And if you go on there, for instance, their Twitter, you don't have to do this right now yet, Larry, but for instance, on their Twitter, it mentions how they sort this out. They recently did an AMA in which there's multiple people from the project who are addressing some of these concerns and so on. So from that perspective, right? Is it possible that this could tank even more? As the saying goes, and go to zero? I mean, those things could happen, but the risk to reward, kind of like when we did XRP the other day, right?
Right.
The risk to reward on this is huge, and that's why I'm so interested in personally. Again, not financial advice, but take a look at this. Exactly. I mean, right around the time I was covering it in January, I think that's when last time I did a video on it. It was a little over $4. So they already stated on their Twitter. Actually, if you go up a little bit, Larry, don't go to their Twitter, but for instance, the market cap, it's unconfirmed, right, by the CMC team, but still 16.6 million. Currently ranked, 3,546. I mean, if that was confirmed by the team, this of course would definitely increase the rankings significantly. Volume has been down only about 376,000, and I think that's a lot of because there's a certain amount of fear in this project because what happened with the dev team not announcing proper land sales, if you will. But here's the thing: if you go now to their Twitter, Larry, if you don't mind.
Okay. Let me see here if I got their Twitter account. I might have to go over here and pop it up over here. Let's see.
That's okay. That way. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
There's
it
a Twitter
here.
right there.
I'm just I'm curious. It looks like it's on the Solana blockchain, and you might have already said that.
Yeah, it is.
Um, do you think that that might have something to do with Solana kind of when it slumped a little bit? Maybe it took down some of the other tokens that were on it and NFT type projects. But yeah,
It could be.
they've got a big following also on Twitter, 180,000.
So right here, as far as if you scroll down just a little bit, Larry. So for those of you guys who may have joined this stream, let me see real quick. So if you're part of the stream or if you're watching this later and this is a concern of yours, they have addressed this. And the reason why I'm bringing it to you guys along with Larry on Crypto Talk now is because this has been recently addressed. So for instance, just like you see right here, it says we got land plans for the metaverse with Solace. You do hear coverage from the dev team from this recording, and they address all these concerns. The cool thing is this, what about all those people that got into it like like $4, $3 and so on? They recognize the opportunity then. Now there's real huge opportunity for that risk reward ratio. And of course, that's where I'm really interested because it's like, wow, this could be one of the biggest metaverse platform plays as far as, making a position, right? For a lot of us from like an investor point of view, because of how much this is tanked, right?
Well, yeah, it's only at 16 million market cap, so it's the kind of like we talked about the other one. If it's a solid project, like all solid projects, they have an opportunity to recover. If it's not, then
Right.
it can go to zero. But where do you own this? Like, do you have this on a centralized exchange?
That actually, I don't know if they're on any centralized exchanges. I know there's a few decentralized ones. Actually, you know what? While you mentioned, let's double check that real quick on CMC.
Yeah. So you don't own any of this right now, but you're considering it?
No, this is definitely what I'm considering now.
Okay.
Basically because it's tanked so much, and then on top of that, it's just significantly cheaper compared to other metaverse platforms.
Yeah, it's on sale. It's on Bitmark, Gate.io, QB Global, L Bank.
Yeah, some big names right there, right?
Excuse me. Yeah, I think that this is something to it might be undervalued. We haven't talked much about this, but I think a lot of times what happens with a lot of these projects is that they come out, they've got the marketing behind them, the hype and everything, the build up, and then because there's so many different projects, people kind of forget about them, and there's not as many influencers, whether it's YouTubers or people on Twitter or people on Reddit. There's just not enough people talking about something. So it could be a great project that people might have forgot about because, as you know, with what's happening with crypto, people get into a project. Sometimes they make their money and they get out and they get bored, or they don't believe in something long term and they just jump to the next project. So
I don't think necessarily. Yeah. I hear where you're coming from, Larry, in regards to that, and that for the most part is true with a lot of projects. On this particular one with Solace SLC, it literally is just like what I was mentioning before. What really tanked the value, because I've been keeping an eye on this for, I would say, at least twice a week. I'm focused on this, and right. I'll look at the graphs and so on. Not, again, I'm not a technical guy like yourself, but the thing that has stood out is because the whole thing of all these people who are investing into it saying, "Hey, Solace team, you guys haven't been transparent enough. You're supposed to give us an announcement about these land sales," and that didn't happen. It was kind of like everybody was kind of like left, like holding it. Like, well, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, are we gonna have the land sales or not? Or my NFTs, I got to use this for, for the the Solace Metaverse project. Like they're just holding it. Like, come on, what am I going to do with this? But it has been addressed, and they're doing a good job of basically, I guess you could say, retracing or in a way it's kind of like backpedaling, but they realized they made a mistake and so on, and they stated, the reasons for that and whatnot. And it doesn't seem like it's a scam or anything like that. It's just a lot of people were, of course, ticked off because they want it in a timely manner because they're used to that with other metaverse platforms where it's just snip, snip, snap, snap, boom, boom, boom. Right. You know what I mean? So but big opportunity, right? For risk to reward ratio. That's where
sure.
I'm coming from. It's like, man, I mean, if you think about this, right? If they continue to, deliver on some of their promises and recognize the mistakes they made, but like now things are going to flow well, man, that risk to reward ratio on this is just probably the best in all of metaverse. If you're just looking at it from that perspective.
Yeah, I'd like to look closer offline at the different metaverse projects and see, relatively speaking, what the other market caps are like. Because, well, do you remember offhand what Clearpool's market cap is roughly? I can look at it. I mean,
Clearpool's market cap, I don't know offhand. It's been fluctuating a lot lately.
let me look it up. That's okay. So what I'm thinking of is something like this. You think it's kind of comparable? Oh, their market cap is kind of low too. Is that right? 6.6 million.
Yeah, and that's a confirmed market cap.
Okay. What's a big metaverse project that you really like?
A big Metopolis,
Like
obviously.
Metopolis.
Luna One, and Metopolis. Those are my top two right now. I mean, obviously, Shiba Inu's up there with what they got going on, but until they got release stuff, more of footage from that, I would say Luna One and Metopolis are the top two for me right now.
For some reason, I'm not finding Metopolis. I know we just talked about
it. Oh, that's because that's under ZIL. You're not going to be able to look it up. So yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway,
it's like a sub project of ZIL, like a smart contract, if you will.
Okay. What's the market cap roughly of Metopolis then?
Well, you would just have to look at it based on ZIL. Just type in ZIL. ZIL.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go. So okay. Yeah, that thing is tanked. I mean, for me, geez, I think I got into, ZIL at like 21 cents and so on. I was one of those guys that kind of, I guess you could say, FOMO'd in.
Yeah.
I typically don't FOMO in. I always buy on the dip, but
right.
It was one of those things I just was like, man, it could also go the other way, and I have seen it go the other way with some other projects, and I just thought it ain't gonna be the end of the world. I'm still into this long term, so I'm not really sweating it, to be honest. Some people will be like, you're losing your what, but yeah. I'm losing my what on a lot of stuff. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna just sell for a loss.
Yeah, like the ones that I'm in long term, like like something like BNB or Ethereum, like I don't really worry too much about what the price action is like, because I'm saying to myself, I'm looking at what's it going to be like in a couple of years or 3 or 4 or 5 years. So I don't really worry. I'm more like trying to accumulate. And when I have my mindset on accumulating, then I'll like crypto.com the last few days, I've been watching very closely because I've been telling myself, I want to add to my position. So that's the only time I really look closely, when it's something that it's a long-term hold for me. Sometimes I just forget about what the price is doing, and not worry too much about looking at the chart either, because my time horizon is much longer than something that might be a risky play, like more like a meme coin or something like that. So, but this ZIL I have to look at, and I mentioned to you before, I had a small bag of ZIL, and I can't even remember what it was. It more than likely was last October, November, September, back when I was pretty much buying pretty much everything and then we enjoyed the bull run. So I might have actually got lucky, and I have to look, but when I say a small bag, I probably bought like $100 of it. I could have sworn I bought something down in here of it, and I don't remember. It might have been on crypto.com or something, but it's one of those. Do you ever buy like a project where you hear that it's good, but you don't really take much time and you just kind of like throw $100 at it just to see what happens? And it, whatever it was, it went up 5 or 6 cents or something. I just sold it. For me,
it was Evergrow, because I saw a few top influencers cover Evergrow.
I got an Evergrow too. Yeah.
Yeah. Then there was that whole article, I think it was like on Yahoo Finance, basically stating that, it sounded crazy. This was one that could very well like 10,000x.
Yeah.
Sometime in 2022. And it was just one of those things, kind of like on faith. It was just like, all right, this is not an investment. That one is a gamble. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, there's some ones that are just gambles. And
so I regret. I regret when I got way too heavy into the memes, and it was fooling me, because last fall, like especially October, and prior to that Vegas event, it just seemed like you could throw money at anything there was a meme and it was going up. But yeah,
Well,
I held on.
that was
I
my thing
held on
with
to some of
Saitama.
those a little too long. Some of those smaller meme tokens that were kind of copycats of everything else.
Well, again, like for me, like I think you and I were talking about a little bit, and for me it was Saitama. So it's like at the time, Shiba Inu seemed like it was like that, was in its own class by itself, and they were the first like Inu, right?
Right.
The Coca-Cola, if you will, of Inu. Kind of like, let's face it, if you want a cola drink, right? You want to drink cola, you don't say to somebody, hey, can you grab me a cola? No, you're going to say, hey, grab me a Coke, right? It's just natural to say that. I mean, granted, there's some people who are Pepsi lovers, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, like Shiba Inu, it was just like, okay, they set themselves as being the standard for like Inu. So for me, when Saitama came around, when I first heard about it, I literally heard about him like, I don't know, like first or second day when it came out. Wow. And when it had the name Inu attached to it, I said to myself, okay, another, these guys are trying to do like what Shiba Inu is doing. Yeah. And this is just going to be another Inu. And I was like, well, I'll see how it goes. I'll see what these, top influencers do and so on. And I was right on the fence of putting like, I mean, we're talking, I was going to put like, I think a little over 2,500 or something like that on the first or second day. And I didn't do it, right?
You might have been a millionaire off of just Saitama.
No, might have been. Might have been up to that Vegas event. I already added it up. That was $20 million because I had that attitude. But it's part of, it's part. But you know what? At the same time, I learned from that. Yeah. I learned like you cannot have that type of attitude. Is the point I'm trying to make in regards to that. I know it's a little subject, but I mean, and that's just the way it is with a lot of people say that's that's part of my crypto journey, right? It's like you learn these things, right?
Yep.
So I mean, if you guys are new to our channel or just tuned in and so on, these are some of the things that we basically share. I mean, some of you guys obviously maybe have way more experience than we do. I've been in crypto way longer than us, but that's the way I look at it. And of course, I end up getting into Saitama before the Vegas event. I ended up making like a pretty decent profit on it. But then I had a whole big position. I put like I don't know, a little over 3,000, maybe 3,500 or something into Saitama after that. And now looking at it like, I don't know, I'm at like a 91% loss in it. Does that mean I'm going to sell at a loss right now? No, I still believe in the Saitama project. I think long term, they're going to come out on top. They're going to shock a lot of people.
So was Saitama, I know there's both ways of saying it. Was it one of the ones, was that the only one that you could think of that if you would have gotten in so early, you would have made, been a millionaire off of just that one project? Or was there any other one that you missed that was kind of
there was one. I told you that I didn't want to get all technical stuff about it, but at this point I might as well just say it. So it's Bitcoin, to be honest. It's Bitcoin.
Wow. Okay.
Believe it or not, back in I think it was like early 2010, this guy who was like a gamer friend, right? Because I knew about Bitcoin at the time, and he had 1,000 Bitcoin, and he said to me, he's just like, I want to just get rid of this. I said, why don't you just take it to like one of those exchanges or something like that, and you could get more than what you're gonna be trying to give it to me for. He's like, yeah, I know, but he's just like, I'm not even worried about it. He's just like, I'll give you the info on like how to log in or whatever. It's basically just like handing his account to me. And it's just like, and I'll give it to you for $50. And at the time, listen to this. I know it sounds crazy. This is like almost worse than that pizza story that you hear about.
Oh yeah.
So at the time, I was really involved in like so many different. I was burned, I should say, with so many different like multi-level marketing things out there. And so an extra $50 at that time was like, oh man,
Now I can see why you don't want to talk about this story.
It was literally like, I had the $50 on it, but it was just, you know what I mean? It was just like, it sucked because what if I didn't get involved with all those other things, right? And I could have chose to get the $50 and then held on to that for at least to like 2017 or something like that.
Oh, wow. So you could have had 1,000 Bitcoin he was offering you?
I could have had 1,000 Bitcoin for $50. And
oh my God!
So that was
you wouldn't be talking to me right now. You'd be like on your own private island somewhere.
Well, that and my passion is I want to be able to create my own game. So that definitely would have been able to happen.
You would have had your own game. Yeah,
I
probably would have been playing your game.
Well, so those are my two big moments. Bitcoin,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I mean, I can't just beat myself up about it. I mean, I didn't know. And then at the
Well,
same
you're here
time, the
now.
other one was, well, Saitama. So those are the two big ones for me if I'm going to learn from it. So
Yeah, I mean, I have regrets like that too. We get into another time, but I always tell myself, despite the fear of missing out, we missed out on some things. We are still early. Amazingly enough, it seems like we're not. Bitcoin came out in 2009, so it seems like we're really not early, but we really are. When you look at the amount of people that have adopted it, 4% of the world. Um,
right.
there's a lot of things that need to be cleaned up. I think the main issues, not just the scams, but the security, the
Right.
hacks and stuff like that. And as crypto starts to evolve and things get cleaned up, then more and more people will come on board. But yeah, you
Right.
can't beat yourself up about it. It's interesting stories. It's something that you
Right.
can tell
And it's not like,
your grandkids about.
yeah, and it's not as like the younger generation or the gamer generation says, like, well, cool story, bro. No, it's not like that. It's more or less like, also I'm sharing with you guys to learn from it. For people who don't know my background, it's not like it's like, well, why you have this guy on your show, Larry? Like, he's just obviously completed is the younger generation would say 2 epic fails. Well, 2021 was an epic fail for me. I made 120K in crypto for Shiba Inu, Dogecoin, and CRO. So
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of the crypto stuff is timing, and if you get into it, you'll have your opportunities. I'm waiting for something, like that where I could get in early. This Wagmi project I just have up on the screen is something that I've been pretty excited about, although the chart doesn't look very good now, and the volume is way low. Now, this is an idea of where I just didn't pay attention because I figured it was going to be something I would hold at least for a few months. So I haven't been too concerned because I think the floor price on the NFT is almost like 0.3 ETH right now, so it's gone up. So I have a decent bag, not a huge bag of Wagmi on the BNB side, but it's also on the Ethereum side. So I don't know if you've looked at. You don't have any of this, right?
Wagme, no, I don't. I mean, I'm very familiar with it. I mean, there's a lot of top influencers. I mean, you're covering it. Zach Humphreys covers it a lot. I mean, other influencers. So I'm definitely aware of it and so on.
Yeah, the volume's down. So I'm not sure what happened because on the 27th, a couple of days ago. So I'm hoping this is not another buy the rumor, sell the news. They just had the test version of their game come out, which I could have technically played, but I just didn't have the time. But because I have the Genesis NFT. So hopefully this thing recovers, and it hopes, this is something that you and I should look at because you're a gamer at some point, another time,
Right.
and see if we could try to figure out how to play the game with maybe my NFT or something like that, just to see what you think from a gamer's perspective. If you think that it has, a future as a game.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can check that out at some point.
So we're still good for tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So, for those who are still with us right now, we are looking to air another live stream of Crypto Talk Now with Max and Larry. And that's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, as in Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific. Remember, looking to most likely do the same time on Sunday. But, it is subject to change just depending on circumstances and so on. But that is what we're looking to do.
I'm going to wrap up here, and I'll give you the final word, Max. I just want to thank everybody that's out there that have watched here tonight. And thank you, anybody that has watched the AMA earlier on Phantom. I think I'm speaking for Max, where we're both excited about this. We don't have a ton of viewers right now, but we know we're building something good. I think we're both pretty patient people. We don't know each other that well. This is our 5th live stream. I think we've gotten better as a team talking to each other. And it's just a matter of time before we crack the code on getting a bigger audience. So we just ask anybody that's watching this, maybe on the recorded end of things, to, please invite people to our live streams. We're having them Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And right now, if we don't change the time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays and Sundays. So this is a regular show, a regular time slot, and we're going to just grow it from there. So I thank you for watching, and I'll turn it over to you, Max.
Well, thanks, Larry. Yes, I'd just like to thank those who did attend tonight and so on. And then also want to thank those who may have not been able to attend, but the ones who regularly come in and watch our live stream, but recorded. Larry always tells me that, we're getting a significant amount, or a decent amount of people, I should say, who watch that. So we can't thank you enough for that. Thanks, of course, for supporting Larry's channel, which is Crypto Talk Now, and also my own, which is Maximus Crypto, no space, all one word. And with that said, if you guys have any suggestions on maybe certain crypto projects that you want Larry or I to cover, make sure you go ahead and put that in the comments like you normally do, and we'll be more than glad to cover that. And in fact, if we're very impressed with it and so on, and feel as though it's worth covering, we'll do a lot of research on it before an actual live stream. That way we know more about it and so on. But yeah, by all means, thank you for everybody, for the select few who came out tonight, and the ones that are going to watch the recording, and also those who have engaged with us, whether it's on Twitter and other social media platforms. Can't thank you guys enough. May you all have a great weekend. For me personally, make sure you check out my latest 2 videos. Luna 1, Metaverse platform. Pre-sale just ended. And then number 2, I have another big Metopolis update for you all. Big thanks to everybody involved in Metopolis. And also shout out to the XCAD Army. That video basically covers that XCAD may be integrated into Metopolis. How cool is that? So make sure you take a look into that.
And just to add on to what Max said, the link is in the description for Max's YouTube channel, as far as his crypto channel, which is Maximus Crypto No Space, also his gaming channel and his Twitter, also my Twitter account as well. So if you guys want us to cover a project and we're not online in this live stream, just go ahead and drop us a message on Twitter or even Telegram, and we'll try to do our best to cover that at one of our live streams. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you tune in tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday. Guys, be safe. Have a good night.
See you, everybody. Take it easy.